Welcome to our daily reflection for this Tuesday, February 11th. And today we continue with the Genesis account of creation. And before I get into that, I want to mention, we've moved to St. Louis this year. And so we have a few positions open with people who worked with us in Colorado that couldn't relocate to St. Louis. And one of those positions is our Chief Financial Officer. So we're posting today a CFO role. So if you know somebody who's been a Chief Financial Officer for a fairly large size organization, it's pretty complex here. So we're looking for great resumes, and just pray for that for us. And I very much appreciate your prayers and any networking out there. We've found some great people through you. And I know all of you who watch the daily reflections are a great network for us. And I appreciate all your prayers. And today we continue the creation story. And so what we have is the fifth day of creation, where God fills the sky and the waters that were created on the second day of creation. He fills that sky with the birds of the air, and then the seas are filled with the fish. And so it's a beautiful parallelism from the second day to the fifth day. And you see that this complementarity of what we saw in that first day of creation, where there was the formlessness and the void. It was without structure and it was empty. And now that emptiness is being solved in the last 3 days. And then the sixth day fills the last bit of emptiness, and that is the land that is separated from the waters. On the third day, that land needs to be filled, and it's filled with all the animals and teeming creatures and with humanity. And yet humanity, like the animals, created on the sixth day with the other animals, and yet very distinctively different, because man and woman are made in the image and likeness of God. And that image and likeness means that we have an intellect we can know, and we have a will, we have the freedom of will in order to love. And so we're made to know and to love God and each other. And so this is a beautiful thing, that God makes us in his image and likeness. And then we go to the seventh day, which has no parallel, So the sixth day parallels the third day. The fifth day parallels the second day. The fourth day parallels the first day. So the sun, the moon, and the stars and the cosmos, and then they get filled out with the sun, the moon, and the stars created on the fourth day. And it's a beautiful poem. Don't take it literalistically, because the author didn't intend it that way. The author intended it as a beautiful poem, a hymn of God's wonder of creation. And that's how it's to be read. And the seventh day has no parallel. And it's the day that God rests. And this represents eternity and rest with God in heaven. And though we are made in the image and likeness of God on the sixth day, we are made for the seventh day. And this is something Augustine talks about so beautifully. And here at the Augustine Institute, we can't help but mention our patron Augustine, who begins his great, great work, the Confessions, by saying how God has made us for himself, and so our hearts are restless until they rest in thee, O Lord. He begins his autobiography, his reflection of his life, with that line at the beginning of the Confessions. And he ends the Confessions with a reflection on the 6 days of creation and God's resting on the seventh day, and that great rest that we are made towards. And so he begins and ends with this idea of restlessness and rest. And that is the story of all of our lives. As we reflect deeply on our lives, we realize that nothing in this life can totally satisfy us, and our hearts are restless until they rest in God. And so let's reflect on that call to enter into God's rest today. May the Lord bless and keep you.
This daily reflection is brought to you thanks to the generous support of the Mission Circle. Join the Mission Circle to help Catholics worldwide understand, live, and share their faith. Sign up at missioncircle.org today.